I'm at SeaTac Airport, which is also the hub for Alaska Airlines, and we're here today to talk about some construction Alaska is doing and some new equipment designed to help you get into the terminal, through the check-in process, into security, and to your gate a lot more quickly. But the construction at SeaTac is happening, of course, during the summer travel season. So we'll tell you what you need to know in terms of how long you need to give yourself when you're taking a flight out of SeaTac Airport.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lance Little. I'm the Aviation Managing Director here at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Thank you for joining us today as we provide an update on the SEA Gateway project, a project we're proud to be doing in partnership with Alaska Airlines. The SEA Gateway project is a part of our Upgrade SEA set of capital projects. Our goal is a 5-star airport experience from Airport Expressway all the way to the gates. A travel journey that is predictable and gives our passengers more of what they know and love. When completed, Upgrade SEA will transform the traveler's experience here at the airport. The SEA Gateway project is one that will transform the experience from passengers at the north end of the main terminal. Passengers can expect 3 big benefits: more natural light, a more intuitive path through the ticketing and bag drop area, and more screening lanes with an expanded area after screening to collect their belongings and repack. This, combined with the technology and lobby changes Alaska is implementing, will help us get towards that 5-star goal. SEA has a limited footprint, which means we often innovate and think creatively on how to improve current spaces. We have a need for more space but limited areas to grow. So instead, we must build within our current space by either growing from within or going up, and in this case of this project, sometimes going down. So in this case, the SEA Gateway project is taking previously unused space on our promenade level, where our sky bridges connect from the garage, and adding 25,000 square feet of new space for offices and Alaska Airlines operation. Up here on the ticketing, the Alaska lobby is changing to integrate more technology and self-tag bag stations to get customers on their way faster through security. Finally, we have also added improvements to checkpoint 5 to add more screening capacity as the airport continues to grow. All of that means some visible changes like you see around us. Lots of construction barricades for now, and you will see on the wall the graphics will tell the story of what we're doing and why we're doing it. If you do have to come to this area, just give yourself a bit of extra time to navigate the construction. I'll let Shane talk more about the changes underway to help those that do have bags or needs further assistance, as well as great features Alaska is implementing at the airport. This project will be transformational. The aesthetics, the looks, the feel, the efficiency, it will be a totally different level of service. Shane?
Thank you, Lance. Hello, my name is Shane Jones. I'm the Vice President of Real Estate and Business Development for Alaska Airlines. We're excited to welcome you to our big opening, or not opening I should say, but our big start of our transformation here in Seattle lobby. As Lance mentioned, the construction you're seeing now and over the next 2 to 3 years is part of an over $500 million investment that we're making in our guest experience here in the Alaska lobby. This is the single largest construction project ever undertaken by Alaska Airlines, and we're proud to do it in our most important hometown airport, SEA. We're also very proud to partner with the Port of Seattle. I want to thank personally Lance, as well as Executive Director Metric and the Port Commission for the leadership and support of this project. In addition to a new modern look and feel from the construction and renovation efforts, we're also improving the experience with new processes and technology. As you can see behind me, we've implemented the new Alaska Bag Tag Station, which is replacing our outdated kiosks and will get customers through the lobby faster. This is just part of a broader technology and process investment that we're going to be making over the next 2 to 3 years, with the goal of eliminating lines and getting guests through the lobby in under 5 minutes. The transition to new technology also enables our employees to better engage with guests. We have we're the best customer service agents in the business, and by using this new technology, utilizing these new processes, they can come out from traditional counters and actually engage with our guests, find the people who need the most help, and really engage with them just the best way they do day in and day out. The future lobby is going to be a beautiful space where we have a lot of work to do to get there. Construction is never easy, and it's going to bring some pain points, but we're working hard to make the process smooth through the transition so our guests have a great experience even during the transition period. This is the beginning of the transition, and I can't wait to welcome you back here in a couple of years to when it's all complete. The best thing that customers can do before they arrive is to do everything before you get to the airport. That means check in. That means doing anything you need to do ahead of time. Utilize our bag tag stations if you're checking a bag. If you're not checking a bag, just go ahead and go straight to security. And speaking of security, take advantage of TSA PreCheck, take advantage of SEA's great Spot Saver program so that you can get through security as quickly as possible. We're looking forward to welcoming all of our guests this summer, and also in the next 2 to 3 years when we're finally completing this project, which is going to, as Lance says, completely transform the lobby experience here in SEA and for Alaska customers. And now to talk a little bit more about just some of the milestones is Mike Francis, our expert who's overseeing the construction. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. Mike Francis, Project Director for Alaska Airlines.
We can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now? Perfect. Sorry about that. Mike Francis, Alaska Airlines Program Director. I'm going to go through a couple milestones as it relates to construction that's going to happen this summer and also into next summer. As you can see here, the construction barricades are going up, and they will continue on through what we call Zone 6, where you see Alaska Airlines ticketing operation today on the curtain wall. That will complete end of July of this year. As that continues and that work commences with the demolition and construction work, we have the promenade area that's currently under construction. That work will complete probably Q2 of 2024 and give us ancillary ticketing capacity to help us with future phases of the work. The departures drive area impacts, those will be ongoing for the balance of this year and will sunset Q2 of 24, setting the way for future phases, which will include the checkpoint in Zone 6. So with that, that's your update for construction impacts for 2023 and 2024. And I will turn over back to Mr. Little.
So thanks Shane, thanks Mike. As mentioned, our objective is to get to a 5-star. And that includes this project, but it also includes many other projects, roadway projects, security checkpoint projects, restrooms, lounges, etc. In short, we must provide the amenities and the facilities that our passengers know and they love. When we get there, it will be fantastic. It will be a beautiful facility. But until then, we're going to go through some construction pains, as you can see here. We're going to do everything in our power to mitigate the impact of these construction as we move toward a 5-star rated airport. So that concludes our program today, and we'll make ourselves available for any individual interviews that you'd like. Thank you for being here today.
If anybody wants to have any questions right here at the
Oh,
podium,
any
feel
questions?
free to go ahead and ask, and then we can also pull off to the side
Barry.
for one-on-ones for more information as well too. Any questions up top here?
Well, I think the big one, and either of you gentlemen can answer it, is, as we move into summer travel and we have this going on, is there an estimate on how much longer it'll take someone from the time they enter the terminal to get to the gate based on the normal average time?
So one of our strategies is to make the journey to the airport predictable, and we're focusing on 3 areas. One is parking. So you can actually reserve your parking before you get to the airport. The other one is security checkpoint line. As was mentioned earlier, you can actually reserve your space in line using Spot Saver. And the third is our airport dining and retail. You can actually order your food before you get to the airport. So you can do all of these before you get to the airport to make your journey a whole lot more predictable.
And for the Alaska lobby, we're actually making sure we have just as much capacity throughout construction as we did going into construction. And one of the best features of the bag tag stations is it can actually reduce transaction times from approximately 2 minutes on a kiosk to 45 seconds on a bag tag station. So the more that our customers and guests start using the their phone and doing everything ahead of getting to the airport, that means it's going to reduce the congestion inside the lobby. Our expectation is it won't have any material impact to the time it takes you to get to the lobby, even during construction.
And if I could also add to that, we've been coordinating with the TSA. They're actually bringing in, starting this Friday, they're bringing in 20 additional TSA officers that will be able to, we'll be able to open more checkpoints a lot earlier, so we should be able to get more passengers through the terminal a lot more efficiently.
Yeah, quick question. You forgot that Joe Kunstler, Simple Flying. Did you kind of forget to mention something called a light rail line and multiple bus lines that serve here as well, so you don't need to park?
Yeah, so we encourage everyone to take light rail to the airport. You don't have to worry about traffic to get to the airport, so we really encourage everyone to take light rail. However, under the circumstances that you have to drive, we're asking you to remember the arrivals drive and the departures drive, they both take you to the same place. Just use the one that's less congested when you come to the airport.
Any others?
Going back to Spot Saver, just a quick question on that. Do you have a percentage of utilization of that? I mean, are 90% of the spaces being utilized right now? Is it totally underutilized?
No, Spot Saver is heavily unutilized. We're almost going to be at over 1 million passengers in a very short period of time. We've gotten very positive feedback from it. And just to brag a little, we were the first airport in the entire world to do this. There's about 8 or 9 airports in the USA that adopted it. I think there's 5 airports in Europe that's starting to do it now, and I think 5 or 6 airports in Asia that's doing it. So Spot Saver has been working extremely well, and we're looking forward to our 1 million passenger.
So when you reach that point where you need to expand it, or is that not possible?
Well, we have expanded the time already, if you notice, and the number of checkpoints that's available. The next phase that we're looking at is having an e-gate. So the process will be automatic, so you don't have to interact with someone to actually get through. So that would be the next gate. Next phase would be an e-gate, and we could have that function operating 24/7.
How much time does Spot Saver actually save? I don't think I've ever asked that question.
Well, you basically will get through within 15 minutes if you have Spot Saver. So you don't have to join the long line. That's the whole purpose of it. You reserve your space. But it's very popular, so you have to reserve early to make sure you actually get a space.
Others? All right. Excellent.
Your name for everyone.
All right, Shane Jones, ShaneJones.
And tell us a little bit of one thing that I noted is the new kiosks. I feel like the other kiosks were fairly new. So how long were the other kiosks here?
So interestingly, we were the first to introduce kiosks in the industry, and we're also the first to get rid of kiosks in the industry, but they've been around for almost 20 years now. So although it looks like new technology, and it's been updated over time and made to look more modern, the technology is actually 20 years old, and so it seemed like a good time to transition to something new.
So you said the best thing people can do is get as much done before they ever come to the airport. Is that more difficult, I would think, for some of our older travelers, people who are coming off of cruise ships?
You know, that's a great question. And what we're finding is we're sending out emails in advance. We're also sending out SMS text messages. And believe it or not, some of those travelers actually come best prepared to the airport. So they've actually taken care of everything ahead of time because they're very diligent in reading the emails and being really, really prepared for the experience.
Do you have a profile of your least prepared passenger?
Oh, that's a really good question. You know, I think oftentimes the first-time traveler who maybe has not flown on Alaska before, and they may not be used to our process, and particularly when we're introducing something new. But we have great customer service agents. We actually are getting more people with using our CSA mobile device actually out and roaming around and trying to train them to actually go and identify those people that need a little extra help. And sometimes it's just visual clues can help that. And so our agents are proactively going to them and saying, hey, I see you look like you're not quite sure what you're doing. Can I help you out? So it's really working well.
And talk about the time that it's going to take. I mean, adding this promenade, once people get the hang of it, there's always a learning curve on everything new. But how much time are you planning to save travelers?
Well, the goal is to get through the lobby in less than 5 minutes when everything is complete. That's using our new bag tag stations. That's using new automated bag drops that are going to be coming as part of this project. And we also want 90% of people to basically be able to go through the lobby with that experience of I'm simply tagging my bag and dropping my bag. And only 10% of people maybe need a little additional help. For example, if they have a special situation, they have an unaccompanied minor or a pet or something else. So our goal is 90% of passengers go through the lobby in less than 5 minutes. And my goal, personal goal, is for 90% of passengers, she never experience a line at all.
Is that really possible? A SeaTac only has so much space. You guys are trying to utilize extra space, but there's really nowhere to kind of expand other than this. So tell me about finding that new space.
So in this case, it's actually not creating new space, it's actually taking better advantage of the space we have available to us. So that means utilizing automated bag drops, these new bag tag stations. And the secret is always having one available to a customer. So you're never waiting on a device. There's always a BTS available, and once you're done with that part of the journey, there's always an automated bag drop available. And that way, there's never a queue that needs to be formed.
Did you say BTS?
We're calling it the BTS, the bag tag station.
Thank you. And how many of these BTSs will be out here?
So we have 18 right now. We're going to be adding another 15 next month. When the lobby is completely done, we will have approximately 100 BTSs deployed, along with 50 or more automated bag drops.
So today you are clearly showing us what's happening at the airport and the check-in process, but tell us about other changes, if you can, on the entire flying experience at Alaska. Anything else new?
Anything else too? We're focused obviously a lot on the technology here, but we're doing a lot of things on our mobile app to upgrade that, to make make it more seamless, make more things available to the customer. We're also investing heavily in our airports throughout our system, in addition to SeaTac in Portland, San Francisco. But I think one of the things we're trying to take advantage of is just new technology. And so, for example, automated gate boarding. If you're on an international flight, we're going to be trying to introducing that. But really, the goal is to reduce stress, make the travel journey easier, and we know that part of that starts with the lobby and getting them through the lobby and security as quickly as possible so they can relax in Alaska Lounge or one of the great concessions here at SEA.
And when I have to ask this question, when I hear added technology, quick and easy, it sounds like employees could be eliminated or no?
Absolutely not. The goal, we are not reducing any employees as a part of all this new technology. The goal is to actually enable our employees to engage better with our guests. So not being behind counters where people have to wait in the line to come see an agent. No, we want our agents out proactively engaging with our guests and giving those guests, families, maybe some of our older travelers, all the help they need.
So Shane, you had mentioned with these bag tag stations that we still go and give the bag to an agent and it gets weighed and that sort of thing, and if there's an overage charge or what have you. But that I've seen in the past is kind of a choke point here. Does having the bag tag being printed in advance sort of speed, is that the idea, to speed that process up?
Yeah, so this is, again, step one in our transformation on the process and technology. So the BTS, you print your bag tag, you take it to an agent who scans it, weighs it, and then puts it on the bag drop. In the future, that part of the process, we're going to automate much of that with the automated bag drops. So again, the agent becomes more here to help the person through the process, and the customer is utilizing the technology to take care of all those steps. And the secret is always balancing the right number of devices, agents, and customers so that it flows seamlessly.
But ultimately, the lines over there will be shorter because people will be able to sort of hustle through them.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're seeing the throughput here where we've deployed the new bag tag stations cut in half.
Say that again.
Or the throughput from the deploying the new bag tag stations, the throughput itself has doubled. So the time it takes to get through the lobby has been cut in half just in this first stage of deployment.
Now, are we going to see these everywhere Alaska flies?
Yes, you will.
How soon though? When are we going to?
Most of our stations will be deployed by the end of the year, and then we'll have a few more into the first and second quarter next year. But almost throughout the entire system, you will see these new bag tag stations by the end of 2023.
So a lot of experts are saying, SeaTac has maybe kind of a meek future. There's too much volume and not enough space. Why keep investing in SeaTac? What does that mean for Seattle?
SeaTac, or SEA, is our hometown airport. It's our most important hub, and it is constrained. And we have to be very thoughtful and creative creative on how we take advantage of the space we have available, which is a little bit what I talked about in terms of adding new technology, adding a better process to take advantage of that limited footprint. Because you're right, it is a very highly constrained airport, but it's also a very important airport, critical to our system. So we're going to continue to invest for the foreseeable future in SeaTac.
Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you.
Thank you.